Hi, everybody. We are live. Welcome to my channel. I'm Anita. This channel is Ketogenic Woman. Every Sunday night at this same time tonight, I have a super special guest. But first, I just want to just do a couple of quick things. We have some moderators in the chat, in the live chat. They are here to help answer questions. They're going to provide links and things. It's Bonnie, Melissa from Copper's Kitchen, and Sherry. They're all three there helping us. And I just want to announce, because I always forget at the end, I'm supposed to do this at the end. Next Sunday night's topic is weight loss stalls. So tune in next week. But tonight we have Coach Bronson. So we're going to bring him on. There you are. Thank you.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. So you were on my channel a few months ago.
Mhm.
And, we just did a recorded interview. I have actually linked that interview down in the video notes because it was a very popular interview and people have been saying, when is he coming back? When are we going to see him again? And so I just wanted to get my right piece of paper here. I just wanted to just do a little quick introduction. So you started your fitness journey when you were in your late 30s,
Yep.
which is late for some people, right?
Sure.
So that's really cool. You were 70 pounds overweight. I didn't know
Mhm.
that until I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
read your latest book.
I was almost
Um,
250 pounds.
wow. Yeah. It doesn't seem like that's even possible. You had other health issues, which I'm going to let you talk about.
Mhm.
But you're 51 now. You've transformed your life with fitness and nutrition, and you're coaching and helping people, which is really amazing. And so now you've got this new book
Yeah.
um, called Body Confidence. So I'm hoping that, as soon as I saw that title, I thought that is a perfect title. I kind of knew what you
Yes.
meant right away before I even read the book.
Awesome. That's
But I'm going to
fantastic.
let you
Hey.
explain
Yeah.
what is body confidence.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Great introduction. The last time I was on was probably one of the most fun interviews I've done in a while. So I love having good
Oh,
conversation, getting good questions, having good back and forth, and just doing something that I feel is relevant to what people need to hear. And I think you do that very well. Um, the yeah, gosh, we could probably talk a whole nother hour just on how I got started. And we did that in the recorded
awesome.
video, right? So we don't need to get into that too much. Um, Body Confidence, the book that I have coming out, is kind of a culmination of the realizations that I've had in the over 10 years of coaching that I've done on
Yeah.
what the real things that people need to do are to see success, regardless of where they are, regardless of how old they are, regardless of where they're trying to go, regardless of what protocol they're using. And this is the key to the whole thing. We get stuck in the protocols. We get stuck in the challenges and the methods and the things that make us do specific things at a specific time in a specific way, and that's the only way you can do it. And if you don't do it that way, then you're
Yeah.
wrong. And that's great, and it can be a tool in many cases, but why those things are successful is the same across the board. And that's what the Body Confident book is about. It's about understanding that being confident in your body, number one, is about
Hmm.
having the trust that you can engage in life because you know that your body is going to perform and protect you. That is what this
And
whole journey is about.
yes, and there's a quote in your book that I wrote down that
Yeah.
just really spoke to that. Quality of life is determined by what you can do, not by what you weigh. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. Very much. And that's the basics of understanding the number one thing
Oh,
to understand in the
having
journey.
some internet
Uh-oh.
slowness there, but I love that quote. It's my one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah. Am I back? So did you get me back? Hey.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're back. there's just some choppiness.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm hoping that
Yeah,
resolves
you're fine.
itself.
You seem to be fine on my end. What I was saying was that
Okay,
the
yeah, you're
understanding
insane.
of what body
Oh my
confidence
goodness.
is and and all of that is really important to the process, the foundation of getting all of this done. And when we start the journey, if we don't, if we're not pointed in the right direction when we get started, then it's going to make everything we do from that point on less effective and more difficult and more complex. Oh no, we lost her. Hi everybody, if you can see me, how you doing? Hey, if you guys, I'm going to keep this going. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Hi everybody. Hi Marilyn. Hi Mickey. Who we got going on here? Hi Yvonne. Carmen, what's going on? Bobby, R, how you doing? We'll keep going. All right, I'll keep going. Hey, she's back.
I don't know what's happening. We're definitely having some internet issues.
Yeah.
Thank you for carrying on.
Hey, no problem. We'll just keep going. Just got to go with the flow.
Wow. So I don't know how, like, it seems to be okay now. I don't know
Yep.
how much that you were able to get across about what body confidence
Yeah.
was to
I'll
you.
just say it again. We can. I
Thank you
can
for your
repeat it.
confidence in just being here and carrying on.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
I'll
all
just do it
right.
again. So you were asking like what is body confidence? I went into a little bit of an off tangent on what this whole thing is about from a principles and concepts perspective. But the reason I do that is because understanding where we're starting and making sure that
Yeah,
the real goal at the beginning of the journey is the right goal is going to save people a lot of frustration and stress throughout the process. So when we start, we often think, I need to lose weight. That's probably the number one top reason why people contact me, why people start looking to do things. I want to lose weight. And understanding that weight loss is not actually what's going to give you sustainable progress and
right.
improve your quality of life. So anything you do towards weight loss, it will move you generally in a better direction than you are now, but it isn't going to be the most effective thing to improve everything that you possibly can to increase your personal freedom for years to come. So understanding that body confidence and feeling good about yourself isn't about feeling good about how you look. It's about feeling good about what you can do. Because
Yeah.
we're talking about function, we're not talking about form. It's not.
Yes.
I don't care if you have the best paint job on the car. If you have all the cool things on the outside of the car, you got the tinted windows, you got the nice rims, you got the great paint job, you got the good headlights. If the engine's falling apart, the car is not worth anything. And a
Yeah.
lot of us are focused on the paint job and we're not taking care of the engine.
Yes. Yes. And I completely agree with that. And you talk a lot about measuring progress in the book. Like
Yeah.
progress is the thing that it's important. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. That goes into understanding the concepts and principles instead of getting stuck doing something a specific way because you heard someone say it. The only rule that anybody should follow, the only rule that you need to follow is what's working for you. That's it.
Yes.
Just because a doctor on YouTube or a scientist on some paper or somebody you talk to, you go to a conference and somebody gets on stage and says X, Y, or Z, doesn't mean you have to do that thing. If what you're doing is moving you towards your goal, then why are you looking to change things? There's a difference between learning more about why the ketogenic diet works. There's learning about fitness and why it's important than doing things to try and learn how to do something different because you're not giving what you're doing enough time to see if it works because you're just frustrated because you think like you're in a stall. You want to just give up and try something else and you're hopping to all these different programs and diets and challenges and everything else every 3 to 4 weeks because you're frustrated that it's not working yet. If you're not consistent, then that's the problem. It's not what you're doing. So
Yeah,
if
this
you're,
is
if,
one of
yeah,
the things that I get all the time.
hmm,
Who do I listen to? There's so
yes,
many opinions out there.
yes,
It's a real problem.
yeah. And understanding, I have a video on my YouTube called Principles Over Protocols. I suggest everyone go look at it.
Yeah.
And I break down, we'll talk about it a little bit here, but I break down really what it is, what are the differences between principles and protocols, and then how to understand when you see information that's presented to you, how to apply it to you. And there's three main things to look at whenever you hear something. Okay. It's just like the three parts of communication. There's you and I are talking to each other right now, right? So there's three parts to this engagement that we currently have. There's what you're saying, the message that you're sending. There's you, what's your context. There's the message that we're
Hmm.
having back and forth between us, and then there's me and my context as the receiver. So when you tell me something, I have to look at who is Anita, where is she coming from, who is she talking to, what is her experience, what are the things that she focuses on? What are her priorities? Where is she going?
Hmm.
And then the information has a filter on it based on your context. Then I have to take that information and say, what things in that filter match my context?
Hmm.
Where am I trying to go? What am I trying to do? Is she even talking to me? Do I fit in the audience that she would normally be talking to? If it
Right.
matches or doesn't match, then I get to decide. If it doesn't match, maybe it's not applicable. It may be perfectly good information, but it doesn't apply to me and where I'm going right now. So I'll put that in my back pocket in case I need to use it sometime down the road. And the challenge and the struggle that a lot of people have that I talk to is they think that just because they have the information, they have to do something with it. And they're and understanding that the only expectation for you as an individual with information that you have is to filter it based on your need and its effectiveness. If you don't need it, doesn't mean you discard it. You still keep that knowledge, you put it in your back pocket. You may need it some other time because our needs change and what will work today may not work in 6 months. I may
Hmm.
need something new. So
Yeah.
then I can go check out this other stuff that I heard about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the expectation that just because we have knowledge, we have to use it, I think sets a lot of people up for being overly complex and stressed out about all the stuff that's out there.
People really get into the weeds, I
Very much.
think.
Yeah.
Yes. And the minutia of methods of doing something and all that and
Yep.
so I like what you say about really focusing on the progress. It's okay to stumble. You
Yeah.
said that in your book. It's okay
Yeah.
to stumble. And I've stumbled a lot, and I'm sure that everybody who's watching has had that
Hmm.
experience.
Yeah. And stumbling is part of the process. If we never make a mistake, what's the saying? Show me someone who's never failed, and I'll show you someone who's never tried.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You
Yeah.
can't be perfect. It is impossible to be perfect all the time. You're going to make mistakes. The
Yes.
key to success in any journey, one of the keys, there's a lot of different keys. Everyone says this is the key. There's a bunch of different keys. But one of the really important aspects of success that you'll see across the board, anybody who's is successful is going to tell you this. Awareness in the process, awareness in the moment. If something isn't working, being aware and being willing to say, this isn't working, I'm going to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that ability to just let something go and move on to something else with the awareness. And this is where awareness comes in, awareness that you need to let it go because it's not working, but then also awareness of what did I learn from that experience? What can I take with me to the next thing? And both of those two things go together.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so the other thing that I was thinking about as I was reading your book, there's a lot of mindset in there. It's not a book about this is how you do this exercise, this is how you do that,
Yeah.
or this is how you do anything. I mean,
Yep.
there's it really is a book that makes you think and you know uh, one of the things one of my favorite parts was when you talked about the boring everyday stuff.
That's awesome. It's funny because I
I
was
love that
yeah,
actually.
I was actually just looking at a final proof of the book today and reread that section. I was like, man, this is good. I like this section. It's because sometimes I have to remind myself of things like this, right? It's
Yes.
okay, right? Being the boring stuff. Okay, here's where it comes when the boring. If you're bored in what you're doing and you're feeling like it's repetitive, it's probably working because it means you're being consistent. And that is one of the most important things in the process. If you're in the mindset that you need variety, what you're really doing is I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's a form of self-sabotage, but it can be self-sabotaging to consistently change things up all the time without a plan or without doing it intentionally when you know what the benefit of the switch is. So, for example, in exercise, variation in exercise, if it's done properly, can be very beneficial in allowing you to get more work in overall without overtraining. If I'm switching up the movements, I'm switching up the ways that I'm working out, and I'm doing different things in a specific way, I can work out 5 or 6 days
Hmm.
a week and not overtrain because when I'm training one thing, I'm resting something else.
Right.
That's beneficial. That's a good application of variation. If I'm if I'm varying things by doing intermittent fasting for a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to do PSMF, and then I'm going to do feasting, priming and fasting, and then I'm going to do this sardine thing, and then I'm going to do this, and every couple of weeks you're switching it up because you don't want to get bored. You're not making any progress at all because your body never has a chance to establish what we call homeostasis. Homeostasis is where your body reaches a level of function that you can then improve from. Homeostasis is I've adapted to the change. Now I can function and improve. If you're always changing and your body never gets a chance to say settle down and balance out, then you're not making progress and you get stuck in that loop. So yeah, I think boring is keeping things simple. Boring is showing up every day when you don't want to. Boring is not looking for the fanciest way to do anything. It's not looking
Hmm.
for what's the trending thing right now. Boring is what is the minimum effective thing that I can do today that's going to move me forward, that I can repeat every single day and know that I can do it and know that it's going to give me enough of a challenge or be enough outside my comfort zone that's going to help me improve my health.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be
Uh,
crazy.
it doesn't, and it's okay to do the same thing day after day. Like a lot of people here are here because they want to say lose weight, and
Yes.
so they get caught up in the weeds of the rules and regulations of whatever program they're following.
Yep.
And also there's a feeling sometimes of having to present something really fancy, on a plate, when you're talking,
Hmm.
say we're talking about food in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
It's okay thing every day if that works for you. Like
Yeah.
it really is.
It really is okay. There's no expectation, and I think that's where a lot of it comes into play. Is um, we society has all these things that we've been told we need to do. When I first got started, it was one of the things that I had to get out of my head was that eggs were just for breakfast. It
Yeah.
sounds
You know what
silly,
question
right?
I get? You know what
It sounds
question I
yeah
get a lot? What can I have besides eggs for breakfast? I
yeah.
get that
Eat
a lot.
eat a steak. Eat a
Like,
steak. Go for it. Have a
yeah,
blast,
yeah,
right? And
chicken,
that's
yeah.
it's crazy because it seems so simple. Like I don't wait. I can eat uh, eggs anytime. That's kind of crazy. That's weird. And um, yeah, so it's the expectations that we place on ourselves. I really think. Sorry, my mic just fell off
That's
my.
okay. That's okay. You can adjust it.
Yep.
That's what lives are all about, technical issues.
Okay, I'm back.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just understanding that there's no expectation. You can make whatever you want to do work for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so there was a little bit more of your story. Like I learned a little bit more about you in this
Hmm.
book.
Hmm.
Can you maybe just tell the audience what kind of health challenges did you like? What was your life like back then?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's it like now? What's
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Well, it's so much better now. With the fitness piece of it being the first part of my journey, a lot of things changed there. Just in the identity that I had at the time I decided to make a change, the self identity that I had was that I was this young, youthful, physical, can do anything kind of person. And I was confronted with the fact that that's not who I actually was in real life, and decided I wanted to get to that. So I wanted my reality and my identity to match. So I started doing the things that a fit person would do. I got in shape. I did a bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
In that process, I found CrossFit. I got certified as a coach. I opened a gym. I did a bunch of things over several years. I owned a CrossFit gym for about 6 years. And a few years into that journey of being a gym owner, um, I realized uh, I was confronted again with the idea that, hey, wait a second, I'm in much better shape than I was several years ago. I'm in my mid 40s now, and I still had health issues. I still had urgent bowels. I was still living my life. And for anybody that's lived through this, I was just talking about this on our live this morning. And if for anybody that's lived with the anxiety and the stress that comes from um, every decision that you have to make in a day being determined by the vicinity of or your knowledge of where to go if you have to go to the bathroom.
Mm,
Every
yeah.
time you get in the car, every time you go on a trip, you can't go on a hike. And it's very similar to the limitations that someone has when they're overweight or they can't move well because they're
Hmm.
weak or have an injury.
Yes.
It's almost enough. I can't go on a hike, not because I can't physically do the hike, but because if I'm out in the woods with on a trail with a bunch of other
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to pull off in the middle of the woods somewhere and have someone watch me doing what I got to do because I can't
Yeah.
control what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right? So I don't want to be away from a bathroom for more than 30 minutes or an hour because I have no idea when I may have to go. And that ruled my
It's the
life for
same. Yep.
years.
Yep.
So understanding that anxiety and that being gone from my life, I was literally just having, Nat and I just went for a walk before this call. We went for like a 30-minute walk outside. And wouldn't you know it, we walk out the door. And the minute we walk out the door, I'm like, man, I got to go to the bathroom. Now, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, well, not even. It's been almost 6 years now. Gosh, I forget that I've been doing this for so long. It's been over 6 years that I've been carnivore. Um, years ago in my mid 40s, if I felt, oh man, I got to go to the bathroom, we would have turned around, come back upstairs, and I would have gone to the bathroom before we went for the walk. But I was able to say, don't, I'm not going to worry about it. We're only out for 30 minutes. I'll just go when we get home.
Yeah.
No stress, no anxiety, no pressure, just because my body works the way it's supposed to work now. So
Yeah.
that's one of the that's the biggest, most impactful thing from a quality of life perspective for me.
That's the
The
body confidence.
That's body. I'm confident. Yes,
Yes.
again, that's a great example. And I'm glad you said that because I haven't even made that connection myself yet. How did I not make that connection? So that's having the confidence in my body that I can go partake in an activity because my body's doing what it's supposed to do, and I don't have to
Yes.
stress over it.
Yes. I
That's exactly body confidence.
Yeah, and that body. The reason I love that title is because it can apply to so many things.
Yes.
In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be getting on an airplane. That
Hmm.
would have caused me the greatest amount of stress because the top of my mind, back the old me when I was over 300 pounds,
Yeah.
is the seat belt going to fit
Mm.
around me?
Yep.
Is
Yep.
am I going to have people on either side of me that are big and we're all going to be like, like this, like they're, it's just no body confidence at all.
It's nerve wracking.
Now I could care less. I'm
Yeah.
getting on that plane and I don't care who's sitting next to me or how
That's
big,
awesome. Yeah.
like That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. And the other, from a ability perspective, things have changed as well. So,
Hmm.
I was doing CrossFit, I was in great shape, but there was a level of systemic inflammation in my body that anytime I had an injury or worked out too hard or did something and got a tweak here and there, once I got it, it didn't go away. So I had pulled hamstrings, pulled groins, torn calves, torn meniscus in my shoulders. I've got herniated disc in my neck. I've got a torn meniscus in my knee, or torn labrums in my shoulder. Sorry, torn meniscus in my knee. I've got all these things that over the years of being consistent with my exercise had got me to the point where even though I could work out 4, 5, 6 days a week, the recovery and the injury and the pain and the discomfort was keeping me to 2 days a week. If I got 3 days a week of exercise in, it was a good week because I hurt so much in so many different places and had
Mm-hmm.
to modify everything I was doing. I couldn't do anything the way I wanted to do it. I had to change and modify and scale. About 3 months, 3 to 6 months into carnivore, all of that went away.
Wow.
Every single pain and ache and injury and whatever else that I had just gone. Like somewhere along the line, they went from, hey, wait a second, I worked out. I don't feel like crap the next day. Maybe I can go work out again. Okay, I'm gonna go work out again. And slowly over 3 months to 6 months, it was like I'm back to 5, 6 days a week, and I feel good. It's not even just I feel better. Like I feel good. I can work out 5 days a week now and go crush it every time. And that was a huge, huge change in
Wonderful.
my progress
Yeah.
from a fitness perspective and my confidence in what I can do and not feeling limited because I was hurt all the time. So yeah, that was another level too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, it's just such a good feeling to, to get there. I mean, you described some of your injuries. I've been struggling with a meniscus injury as well in my
Yep.
knee and lower back, and it's been challenging to do workouts, but I've been
Yep.
doing them and getting stronger and having enough protein from,
That makes a huge difference.
it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. And I don't think people realize how much difference the right amount of protein can
Hmm.
make. So, it's a good thing for everybody to think about,
Yes.
for sure. We're almost at the halfway mark. So I
Keep,
just want to,
keep going. You got more questions? You go ahead and ask them.
there's
Unless you have a time limit. I got no time limit,
yeah,
so we
there's
can
there's
go all day.
the questions are building up, and we're going to get
Okay.
to questions there. So I just want to make sure I sort of touched on all the parts of the book that.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite quote of all in the entire
Uh-oh.
book.
Here we go.
Nobody is coming to rescue
No.
you.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that. So I feel like that can apply to so many things in life.
Hmm.
Everything, almost everything in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
If it's something that is going to happen, ultimately it's me that is going to decide what I'm putting in my mouth. It's me that's going to decide, am I going to go and start lifting those weights that are
Mhm.
sitting there?
Mhm.
Am I going to go for that walk after dinner?
Yeah.
Those things are up to me. And what I got from you is that there's no magic pill. there's no uh, there's no perfect macros. There's no right macros. There's no perfect way to eat. There's no perfect time to eat.
Yeah.
There Nobody's coming to rescue you.
Oh my
Like
God, Nidhi,
just
you are blessing me right now because the fact that you read and obviously for anybody watching, she got an advance copy.
yes, I
Um,
did. I'm so lucky.
um, for you to say all of these things is really a blessing to me because you got the message.
I
And
did.
that makes me feel really good that that came across, and it seems like very clearly in what I was trying to say. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you are welcome. The last time you were on my channel, you said something to me that I still think about. You said, you are stronger than you think.
Mm,
And whenever I have a little, in my bedroom, I have a little corner where I have a bench and some weights and everything. And that's the first thing I say to myself when I
Oh,
go
I
in
love
that
it.
room. And it's, you know, it's, and I got that from you.
Oh,
I just feel like I
bless
can
you,
do
Anita.
hard things. I'm stronger
Yes.
than I think. And and you told me that.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah. So that interview is linked below as well if anyone wants to go and watch that, because that was so much fun. Last thing I have to ask you before we take the audience
Sure.
questions is, how is your mother?
My mom's doing great. I don't remember exactly when we had our last talk, but sometime last year, she had a hernia that she got repaired. She had
Yeah.
several months of recovery trying to get back into that, but she's pretty much, I don't know if she's back 100% where she was, but she's back very much in the groove of getting back to the workouts on a regular basis and complaining that I don't put enough deadlifts in the program, things like that. So she's having a blast getting in there. And I'm hoping she's been working. She's a principal of a private school, a local private school.
Yeah.
She's We're trying to convince her to retire, and I would love her to retire and do like what you're doing right now. Get on YouTube, start working with people, start helping people and
She'd
sharing
be
her story.
great.
I know she'd be great. I think she'd be fantastic. So we'll see how that goes. But she's doing good. She's having fun, and just plugging along.
Yeah. You know what? If she ever decides that she wants to start doing something like that, bring her on. Like, I'll have
I'll
you
let her
both
know.
on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
will.
would love. You
Yeah.
know, I enjoyed the videos that she was in with you,
Mhm.
and she's in the. I mean, I think she's just a couple years older than me. I think she's in that age group. You know,
Mhm.
I'm 66,
Yep.
and she's somewhere
She's
in
just
there.
yeah, I think she just turned 70, just turned 69,
Okay.
just turned 70, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So, I mean, all the people that watch me are kind of in this,
Yeah.
you know, in this age group, trying to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our lives and how
Mhm.
we're going to stay in, you know, in shape and get fit and all that stuff. So she'd be
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah,
She'd be
telling
perfect.
her I would love to have her on. I would like to have her and I go, like, do speaking engagements together. That's
That
really
would
what I
be
think would be cool.
great.
Us to
Oh,
get on stage together and do stuff. Yeah.
you guys would be great. That would be fantastic.
Yep.
I just love that idea. So I'm going to hop over to the audience questions
Let's do it.
because they are building up.
I love talking with you, Anita.
Oh, I'm so
So much
glad. I'm
fun.
so glad. So Patty Shank said, "Great title for a book." So she agrees with that title.
Awesome. Thanks, Patty.
Um, Carrie says, "Did you hear the beach went to the gym? It wanted to have ripped currents." Very
That's
cute.
Carrie. Carrie's good for a joke every live. Carrie's good for a joke.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Let's see. Bobby R. I would like to hear how it worked training with your mom.
Okay, so she started with me just one-on-one. It's been a little over 10 years now ago that she started. So we were just over there a couple weekends ago and I made a joke. I said, she's my oldest client and my oldest client,
There you go. Yes.
right? So she was the first person I ever actually, had as a regular personal training client. We did that for a while. Then she became a member at my gym and she joined the gym. And then she was at my CrossFit gym pretty much until I sold it in 2019. So she was there for almost a whole 6 years. And then when COVID hit, which has happened right after I sold my gym, she worked from home and she's been working out at home pretty much ever since.
Right.
So now she does my programs virtually. I have an app. You get the workouts on your phone. She does those. You record everything in the app. We have a community on Discord. A lot of people are familiar with Discord, um, and we just kind of engage that way now. So um, because it's my mom, unlike everybody else in the programs, she gets to text me directly and say, "Hey, what about this? Hey, what about that?" But other than that, she's having a blast in there with the rest of everybody else doing the program.
Oh, that's awesome. So she was 60 then when she started, which I think is
Yeah, she
wonderful.
started right around 60, 61, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yep.
Kathy Hurst, what is your background,
Oh my
coach?
goodness. I'm assuming you mean my coaching background. It's funny. All the years I've been doing this, I've never had anybody ask me that. So that's an interesting question, Kathy. Um, I don't often talk about my background. So my background is starting in the fitness side of things. I got my uh, first coaching certification was my CrossFit level 1, which is the basic minimum uh, level requirement you need to be able to coach CrossFit classes, official CrossFit classes. I interned for almost 2 years, uh, and then opened up my own gym. With my gym, and then ever since then, I've done nothing but additional education and certifications and training and get hands-on experience and experimentation and clinical work and all these different things. Um, I have most of these will probably not mean much if you're not in the fitness space, but I'll just rattle off some of the certifications and trainings that I've got. So I am now a CrossFit level 3 coach. So I went level 1, level 2, level 3. It's the only certified um, credential that CrossFit has. So level 1 and level 2, you are a CrossFit trainer. Level 3 is a certified trainer, which means it's actually certified and accredited at an international level. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a nutrition coach. I have a few different nutrition certifications and training from Precision Nutrition, from Nutrition Network, and ketogenic and low carb nutrition. I am a behavior change specialist. I am a USA weightlifting coach, a USA powerlifting coach. I am a kettlebell coach. I am a functional movement screen uh, evaluator. Um, and I am a strength and conditioning coach. So that's the general things, as well as being an author, speaker, and having had hands-on one-on-one experience with people in all ranges and all scopes of improving quality of life for over 10 years.
That's a lot of stuff.
So that's that. That's a quick and dirty. And that's not even including all the seminars and trainings and things like that. That's just the
Right,
certifications
right.
that I got.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you have some qualifications
Been
there.
doing this for a while. Yeah.
Okay, Sherry, can you give us some examples of what goals and motivation you have seen that are not good strategies for starting out right
Mm.
would be?
Anything that you can't measure.
Ah, okay.
Anything that you can't put a time frame and or measure its progress. And that's it would be like saying, what's the worst thing, what's the best, well, let's see, what do I want to go the opposite route, the backwards way to see. If you're gonna plan a trip and you don't know exactly where you're going, you don't know how to check if you're going the right way, you don't know where to stop to get gas, and you don't know where you're going looks like, then how do you know if you're going to get there or if you got there when you got there? Right? And that a lot of people, not thinking about it, do that with their health journey. I want to feel better.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? Right? Something that you can measure. How do you quantify feeling better? Well, and you can dig a little bit deeper. Well, I know that I have headaches every morning when I wake up. Okay, that's something you can say that's either there or it's not there. Or it's only happened 3 days this week instead of 7 days this week.
Right.
Right? That's a small change. And when I say it's something measurable, I'm not saying it has to be something you can weigh or measure with a tape or a scale, right? Or have a percentage or numbers, right? I'm just something that you can definitively say, when this changes, I'm going to notice the change. I'm going to be able to say this is specifically happening and tie it back to what was the thing that you did to make the change happen.
So it really is going to pay to get very precise about some of these things, about what
Or
sorts of
yeah,
things you
or
want to
more
accomplish.
precise than you've got,
Yes. Yes.
right? So again,
Okay.
it's very much like nutrition. Everything's on a spectrum, and it all starts from where you are. We can say theoretically pie in the sky, there's the perfect way to do everything. And as long as we're trying to get as close to that as possible, understanding that we're never going to get there, but if we're trying to get as close to the better way for me, and the better way for me is moving in that direction towards the best, whatever that may be, but it's helping me get better from where I am today. So my better is going to be different than your better.
Yes, for sure. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the
Yeah.
question, Sherry. Okay, Carnivore Collective. I've heard a lot about walking after meals to help aid digestion, lower your glucose after your meals. What is the minimum amount of time that you need and how fast to walk?
Yeah. It's really more just about getting out and moving. I don't know if there's a minimum. I'd say, I mean, 5 minutes probably isn't going to do much for you. From what I've heard, most people recommend it's about 20 to 30 minutes. And the pace is less important. It's not like you need to go for a speed walk. It's something conversational. Like you
Mm-hmm.
want to go for a walk and walk with your partner or spouse or friend, and just have a conversation while you're walking. Just something to kind of
Okay.
get that, but get the body moving and kind of settle down the digestion. Keeping in mind that it's great, it helps digestion. It's great to for all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the need to keep your glucose down, if you're doing that for the glucose specifically, is less important than did you go to the gym today?
Okay.
Okay. The focus should always be on improving metabolic function so that you don't have to do extra things to simulate metabolic function.
Okay.
That's what a lot of people are doing. They're not building muscle and they're not improving their physical ability. So then they have to go for walks, do extra cardio, get their steps, do all these other things. All of those other things only work while you're doing them, right? You want to do something that's going to establish a base level of function so that even when you're not doing something extra, you're still getting that work and your body's still doing what it needs to do and supporting itself. Muscle and physical ability is what does that.
Okay. So building muscle is a
Building muscle.
goal. Yeah.
Building muscle is if I could you were talking about protein earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If I could impress on everybody listening how drastically, dramatically, and impactful your life will be and change if you change everything that you're focused on right now to just building muscle and physical ability.
Okay.
That is the foundation for all metabolic function. The most important organ for metabolism is muscle. And most people are not doing what they need to optimize the muscle in their body.
Okay. This is good advice. Thank you. Thanks for that question, Carnivore Collective. Becky, I don't snack, but when I eat, almost 1,000 calories. Is it usual? I usually eat once or twice a day.
1,000 calories in one meal. I'm not quite sure about that question.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
quite sure
yeah.
either.
And and we can get into this. I know you know my take on calories
Yeah.
and macros and that kind of stuff since you read the book. Um, what are those calories made of? Is the first question that I would ask. And eating twice a day is my recommendation. 3 times a day is fine. I do not usually recommend people eat 1 time a day. Um, for the number one reason that if you eat 1 time a day, you're probably undernourished.
I think that this is common with a lot of women.
Mm.
They've heard that one meal a day is the way to go,
It is
for
not realistic,
yeah,
and in the long term, it is not usually effective.
yeah.
It's great for weight loss because you're starving yourself until your metabolism crashes and your body stops working the way it needs to work. Your cortisol rises, you start having hormone dysfunction, and everything falls apart, and you start gaining weight again. But eat more protein, build muscle, eat, eat, eat. Everybody needs to eat more. That's really. I was just talking to Coach Nat again today about this because we talk about this kind of stuff literally all day.
Mhm.
We sit down together and we just have these conversations in the house. Um, we're noticing a trend over the past 6 to 8 months where a majority of our clients and a majority of the people that we're working with every day or hearing from on social media, it seems like there's been a major shift in the the issues that we're seeing. And the main shift is people are under eating. And I don't know what's happened, if it's
Mhm.
a thing in the keto carnivore community where maybe over the last several years there's been such a focus on intermittent fasting and OMAD to improve autophagy, that now after a couple of years of that message, everybody's crashing and going, wait a second, how come I'm not making the progress I want to have? And now they're going, now what do I do? Oh, I need to build muscle and eat more protein. I need to stop fasting. I need to actually give my body the nutrition that it needs to function. And that's what we're running into now. So I think maybe that wave is starting to crash. And
Yeah.
we've been seeing a lot of women, particularly women, coming to us and saying, I don't know what to do. And then we get, I'm eating 800 calories a day. I'm eating 1,000 calories a day. It's like, you need to eat more. That's
Yeah.
step number one.
It's hard because women of my age,
Mhm.
we were taught, back in the day, we were taught to cut calories,
Yep.
cut fat.
Yep.
Less is the way to go. Calories
Yeah.
in, calories out. It's like it's hard. And I see it too. And I'm in Kelly Hogan's group coaching,
Mhm.
and she says that too. Like, so it's a surprising number of women are eating less than 1,200 calories a day.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And many of them need 15, 16,
Yeah.
1,700.
Yeah.
When we're talking about calories, I don't like to talk about calories, but just because I know a lot of people have that contextually, it connects with them more.
Hmm.
It's very likely if you're eating 1,800 calories a day, and I don't want to scare anybody, but it's very likely that you could double that and still and see progress, right? I mean, that it's crazy, and helping women understand what that process is all about, and that's where understanding that function is what matters,
Yeah.
right? We can't run an engine and expect that engine to run well if we don't give it gas and oil and transmission fluid and brake fluid and all the different things. And we keep everything lube. We got grease on all the joints and all those things. And when we restrict food because we want to look a certain way, we do that at the cost of our health every single time.
Yeah. I think it's
And
pretty
for,
common.
yeah, and for any woman who's dealing with perimenopause or menopause, the last thing you want to do is cut your food down and work out extra, right? Those are the women that I really want to help the most. I don't know if you know, we talked about the study I did a couple of years ago, right? The
Yeah.
ketogenic study with the
Yes.
perimenopause, menopause.
Yes.
That was I was so happy to be able to do that work with those ladies because helping them understand that they can improve their menopause symptoms by giving their body what it needs. And they don't have to think about, I'm trying to do all this stuff to look a certain way and combat how that's impacting the hormone imbalances and all the stuff that's already going on. Like trying to have a appearance goal, a weight goal, a body fat loss or weight loss goal while you're going through menopause is making your menopause worse. Let's get your body doing what it's supposed to do and what it's trying to do as easily and efficiently as possible. I guarantee you the other stuff will work itself out.
Okay. That link to that study is in the other interview that you and I did. So I'll
Mhm.
make sure it also ends up in the video notes
Awesome.
of,
Cool.
of this one too.
Yeah.
Um, how to be consistent from Boss
Oh, goodness.
713.
Yeah. So consistency, there is no how to be. You either are or you aren't.
Mm.
And it's driven by whether you want to or not. Okay. This is where we talked about before. No one's coming to help you. So
Mhm.
it is on you. This is you taking ownership of your journey and deciding, do you want it or do you not want it? Now, with the expectation, okay, remember, there is no expectation. Your expectation that you're setting for yourself is if I decide not to do it, that's my decision. It's not because of anything else other than I decided I didn't want to
Mhm.
do it. So then you can't be mad about it. Don't get upset about it and don't complain about your progress. If you're not getting where you want to go because you're not being consistent, that is your decision. What you need to do is understand it's not about how do I be consistent, it's how do I connect with the emotions of why I want to do it.
Yeah.
That's where the key is. So digging into why did you say you wanted to do this thing in the first place? if you wanted to do it because you wanted to lose weight, there's a good chance that's not a emotionally connected reason that's going to keep you doing what it is you said you were going to do or not do
Yeah.
in a lot of cases. So, and this is something we talked about in the book too, that I'm sure, a lot of people will benefit from in the understanding what your why is and understanding what your why not is. What are the things you don't want in your life?
You're the first person I've ever heard that says you got to think about your why
Oh
nots
my
as
gosh,
well.
it's the negative things in your life are often more impactful
Yeah.
because it's the pain. What is the pain that you're living in right now that you are tired and sick of? Whether it's a physical, actual pain, my knee, my back, my neck, my shoulder,
Yeah.
my wrist, whatever, or is it the pain of having to pay $600 for metformin every month,
Mm.
right? Or the pain of X, Y, or Z, or all the doctor's visits, or not being able to say yes to your family activities, or whatever else. What do you feel like you're being left out of in life that you don't want to be left out of anymore?
Yeah,
And is
exactly.
that something that's emotionally stronger than the trigger that you have that makes you want to eat that cupcake?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're not consistent, it's because you don't really want to do it. So you got to decide, what do you need to do to understand why you really want to do it. It should be emotional. I don't remember if we talked about this before, Nita, but one of my favorite sayings is your why should make you cry.
Yes. Yeah, we
Right?
did talk about that.
If
I,
you're
I
in,
really like that
if
too.
it's not emotional and visceral, and if you don't feel some kind of way when you think about why you want to do this and why you decided to be on this journey, then your consistency is going to continually be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thanks for that question.
Mhm.
Bobby R says she would sign up to work with your mom.
I will pass that along.
There you
So
go.
my mom has been a teacher. She's been a counselor. She's a principal. Like, I don't think she recognizes how much experience she has that would make her a fantastic coach.
She would be. She would
Yeah,
be.
she'd be a great coach.
So this question, I feel like you already answered because we
Mhm.
talked about this and about the calories.
Mhm.
Can't think of this caught me at the end. Can't think of what to try under 1,000 calories. I don't know. I
No.
I would say
Yeah.
no. I
So
would
here's
say
the thing.
no.
So again, this is another example of when weight loss is the goal, the options and the things you're looking at and the way you perceive your progress is always going to be skewed. So, Cindy, here's what I'd recommend: is ask yourself some questions. Besides your weight loss, what else has gotten better? Right?
Yeah.
Are you gaining muscle? Are you feeling like you're having more physical freedom? Do you have any medical conditions that have gotten better? What other there's got Do you feel like there's any mental things going on? Other things are happening in your body. And when we only look at the weight and the scale, we miss all of the different things. Like, if you think about the fact that, in the book, I talk about systems of function. What is metabolism? Metabolism is your neurology, your biology, and your physiology. It has three main sections. And all of those sections have subcomponents within them: your immune system, your brain function, your cellular function, your circulation, muscle protein synthesis. I mean, all the different things that our body does. And when we start on the health journey, if we're only looking at weight loss, we're not seeing how any of those other systems are improving.
Hmm.
And they can be improving a lot. And here's the thing: if you've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of damage, there could be a lot of stuff going on at different times. It's going to be ebbs and flows. It's going to go up and down. There could be a lot of things that are going on in any of those systems of functions that are improving that won't impact weight loss at all. But that doesn't mean you're stalled. So
Yeah.
learning, and this would be a great, I would just plug the book. This would be a great reason to get the book when it comes out, because we explain what all those different things are that you can look at and how to tell if you're seeing improvement in any of them.
Yeah. I would get the book for the any of you that are struggling with your mindset of, just how to get started.
Yeah.
If that's your block,
Yeah.
I just can't seem to start.
Yeah, yeah. And also 1,000 calories, to talk about that, again, you probably need more, not
Hmm.
less. And you probably need more protein than you're getting if you're anything like most of the people out there today.
So, next question here is Coach Bronson. Do you offer online video training or do you only work with clients in person?
Yeah, everything I do is online. I actually don't do any in person anymore. Ever since COVID, I went online. Thank goodness. I started going on and right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I just stayed there, not going back. Um,
And that's all on your website,
it
right?
is
Like,
all on my website.
because
Yep.
we've linked Coach Bronson's website down below, as
Mhm.
well as his YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, I encourage you to do so.
Thank you.
There's so many short little videos of like how to, do something, or you get a mindset blurb on this
Mhm.
one, or an exercise on that one. Like, it's just such a variety of helpful things on your
That's
channel. So
awesome. Thank you.
yeah, please go there. So
Yeah.
let's see what
So
else we have. There's still quite a few questions down here.
let's
So
get it.
yes,
I
let's
love
get to
questions.
them here.
I love how
Uh,
engaged your audience is. This is
they
awesome.
are very engaged. We often get more questions than we can get to, so that's why I'm trying to get through here.
Well,
Do you recommend that meals 2 to 3 per day are eaten within a certain time frame? So they're talking about a
whatever works for
meeting.
your schedule.
Yeah, yeah,
The
awesome.
focus should be on what can I do to sustain my progress, not meet a guideline.
Yeah.
That's the goal. What can I do to sustain? It's more important that you get the nutrition than when you get the nutrition. When you are at a point where you're getting it consistently and you've resolved all your metabolic issues and you're physically capable and you don't have any reason to really be worried about how or when you're doing stuff and you want to play around and experiment with timing your food, feel free to have a blast. While you're in the process of trying to improve your quality of life and physical ability, do what you can when you can.
Yeah.
That's way more important. We don't want to
100%.
add stress. But the whole reason we're doing this is to reduce stress and complexity in our life. So why are we adding stress to reduce stress?
Yeah. That whining you hear is the dog. Sorry about that. Reed Dreamer says, what about losing the last 5 pounds of visceral fat? What is the key?
um, I again, it's going to be. I mean, I don't know how. So usually, visceral fat is measured in a score, not in actual pounds, unless you're getting a DEXA. I think DEXA scans can give you an estimation of exactly how much visceral fat. Um, but here's the thing, and this is another trap that I think people get into. Um, what is it about the visceral fat, those 5 pounds, that you think is going to change the rest of your progress?
Hmm.
We have a tendency, and this is you said this earlier. We get stuck in the weeds. We tend to zero in on a marker, a metric, and if that metric is bad, then it doesn't matter what else is going on. That metric is bad, so I can't be healthy. We see it a lot in the carnivore space where people are like, I'm eating meat, but my A1C went to 5.6. What's wrong? I'm almost diabetic. No, you're not. You're not anywhere close to 6. I've been 5.5 to 5.7 for 5 years with my A1C.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single time have I ever even thought about it being a problem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's the whole picture that we need to look at. So maybe you think you have 5 pounds, and maybe you do. Maybe you legitimately, there's a reason you have, I want to lose 5 pounds of visceral fat. Okay. How's everything else looking? Are there other things that you can target? Or do we want to spend the effort to figure out this one last 5 pounds, and we've got other things that are really low hanging fruit that we could fix? Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. Maybe you're not exercising. Maybe you've got other things that you can do that are going to kick things off in a different area that bring the whole thing together. And then look, 3 months from now, that visceral fat is gone.
Yeah.
So the
Cool.
holistic view of what you're doing, what are the small, instead of trying to figure out how to fix one metric, look at the big picture. Am I doing the things I need to do in general first? And then oftentimes those little things kind of disappear on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Thank
hope that
you.
helps.
Yeah. I'm sure it will. Uh, just Jason Keto, thank you so much for doing that. That was very kind and generous of you. Um, so Amazon only shows. Thanks, Danny, for the question. The new book in Kindle. Is there going to be
Yeah,
a hard
yeah,
copy
there
book?
would be.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, because unfortunately Amazon doesn't let you do paperback when you're self-publishing. If I was with a big publisher, I could do paperback because then they would ship everything when it comes to shipping. But because I'm doing self-publishing, I can do ebooks on Amazon for pre-order, and I will be doing hardcover on Barnes and Noble in about a
Okay.
week. And in about a week, I'll have a link for that on Barnes and Noble for hardcover.
Okay.
But
Cool.
unfortunately, the paperback won't actually be out until September.
Okay. All right. So we're at the 1 minute mark, but let's do this last question here.
Okay.
Or sorry, 1 minute mark. It seems like
The
it
one
went
hour
by
mark.
in like a
I mean,
minute.
if you want to go longer, I'm totally fine for going longer. That's up to you.
Yeah, I think this looks like there might be just one. Oh, two more questions. So let's do this one. Let's try to get through this one here, and then we'll do the next one.
Sure.
And yeah, okay, here we go. Coach Bronson, what is your recommendation for someone going through testosterone therapy and losing muscle?
Yeah. I'd be curious to know why you think you're losing muscle, because muscle loss doesn't happen quickly unless you're talking about something that's sustained over a period of time that you've been measuring. But in general, you need three things to build muscle. You need adequate protein. I got my fingers, I'm counting on my fingers, but you can't see it. You need adequate protein. You need adequate stimulus to the muscle, make it grow, and you need adequate recovery, which includes sleep. So if any of those three things are off, even though you're on a testosterone cycle or program, then you're not going to see that muscle growth. The thing about testosterone is that it is higher and it works the most when the muscle is stimulated and asks for more. And when you sleep, testosterone is higher. So if you work out consistently and you're stimulating the muscles and saying, I need you to get better and do more, and then you get a good night's sleep consistently, you'll start seeing that progress that you're looking for. So those are the
Mm,
first things that I would suggest. Make sure those three things are locked in. And then if you're still having issues, you might have something else going on that you can take a look
okay, awesome. We're almost there. RV there yet? Hello, thanks for coming. How about the working out fasted or fueled debate? Which one is
at. Totally,
better?
totally up to you.
I knew you were going to say that because that is one of those, as
The
long as you
science,
do
the
it.
science is inconclusive no matter what anybody says, and it really doesn't matter. This is the going back to getting stuck in the weeds thing, Anita.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had this up on my notes because I was thinking about this the other day. Science helps us explain what we see happen in real life. Science
Okay.
doesn't determine what we should do in real life,
I love that.
right? And too often we think, well, this study said this, so I have to do this. No, you
Yeah.
don't. That's their observation and their interpretation of what they saw. If you're not seeing that in your life, then you can ignore it. It doesn't
Okay.
mean anything. So you play around. If you want to try, do a month, do 2 months fasted, see how you feel. Do a month, 2 months not fasted, see how you feel. Play
There
around
you
with it.
go. Yeah.
Experimentation is key.
Okay. And I think that's probably similar to this next thing because I keep hearing about sprinting.
Yep.
Do you have any information on the benefits of
Yeah, it's
sprinting?
great. I think sprinting should be part of a well-rounded routine, fitness
Okay.
routine. It should not be the basis of any well-rounded routine. A well-rounded routine is going to be a majority range of motion and all the essential movements and weight. Everything else will
Okay.
come in addition to that.
All right. Thank you for all your questions, you guys. There were some great
Absolutely. That's good
questions
questions for
here.
sure.
And we are at the end of the live stream, so that worked out perfectly. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank Coach Bronson for being here. I feel like we need you here again at some point,
We
and
can get
bring
on a
your
regular
mom.
schedule if we can get on a regular
Yeah,
schedule if you want, and I'll talk to my mom about coming on for sure.
I hope you do. And it's always so interesting when I talk to you. And congratulations on getting that book done.
Thank
And so, everybody, if you have not already subscribed to Coach Bronson's channel, please go find it. The links are below. The links have been in the live chat there. And so, enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, whatever's left of it. Here it's only 5, just after 5. I know
Yeah.
for you, you're back east there.
Mhm.
But have a good week, you guys. See you next week. We'll talk about weight loss stalls,
Thanks,
and
guys.
yeah, we'll have Coach back on soon. Okay. So good night, everybody. Love you all.